Imagine this scene. You're at a party or a work meeting. Someone approaches, smiles warmly, extends their hand, and clearly says their name. You respond, and the conversation flows naturally for a few minutes. You laugh, you talk about something interesting. Then, 5 minutes later, that person asks you something simple, and you want to reply using their name. But your mind is completely blank. The name has vanished. You feel yourself blushing slightly, your heart beating faster, and you start improvising with a hey or a forced smile. In that brief moment, you feel exposed, embarrassed, as if you've failed at something basic. Many people say this happens because of carelessness, that you're distracted, that you don't care enough about others, or that you simply have a bad memory. But that's not true. It's not a simple lack of interest, nor a character flaw. It's something much deeper, something happening inside your mind, a hidden mechanism that both protects you and defines you at the same time. In this video, you'll discover the truth behind this seemingly embarrassing habit. You'll see that forgetting names is not a defect, but a window into a complex inner world. If you recognized yourself even for a second in the scene above, stay with me. Hit like right now if you want to understand why this happens, and let's go deeper together. Let's start with the first trait these people carry in silence. I call it the mind that runs too fast. Your brain processes information at an astonishing speed, but not all of it equally. Names are arbitrary labels without immediate emotional meaning. While others register the name as simple information, your mind is already jumping to the person's vibe, to what they're really saying through their tone of voice, to what their smile is hiding. You're not inattentive, you're paying attention to the essence. Imagine you're talking to someone new. Instead of repeating their name in your head, your brain is already analyzing their gestures, their words, the energy in the room. The name slips away because it doesn't have a strong emotional anchor. The cost is clear. You find yourself in awkward situations. You feel like you've disappointed someone, and you carry a small inner shame. But here's the flip side. This mental speed allows you to see connections that others miss. You're not superficial, you're deep in a way that can be exhausting. The second trait is sensitivity that feeds on vibrations, not labels. You don't remember names because your mind prioritizes the real emotion of the encounter. You immediately sense if the person in front of you is tense, excited, or hiding something. A name feels like an empty formality compared to this emotional richness. Psychology shows us that sensitive minds encode emotionally charged memories better and set aside neutral details. Think of a moment when you perfectly remembered how someone made you feel, but their name disappeared instantly. You're not distant, you're overwhelmed by depth. The cost comes later, when you have to mask the gap and feel disconnected from simple social rules. Yet this sensitivity is your gift. It allows you to build authentic connections, even if the labels fade. Don't forget that. Forgetting names doesn't make you less human. It makes you more connected to what truly matters. Now let's move naturally to the third trait, masked social anxiety that steals your attention. In many cases, when you meet someone new, part of your mind is occupied with internal questions. How do I look? What should I say? Do I seem weird? This constant self-monitoring consumes mental resources. The name, being new and neutral information, is the first thing to get blocked. It's not disrespect, it's your brain trying to protect you from social discomfort. Do you remember that feeling when the conversation is flowing, but inside you're running a nervous monologue? That's exactly when the name gets lost. The cost is the exhaustion that comes after every interaction, the feeling that you've spent energy just to socially survive. But here's the flip side. This masked anxiety shows that you care deeply about how you relate to others. You're not indifferent, you're vigilant. And this vigilance, even though tiring, makes you aware in a rare way. The fourth trait is the tendency to live in your inner universe. Your mind has its own rich world, full of thoughts, reflections, and ideas that flow constantly. When you meet someone, part of you remains anchored there, inside. The name comes from the outside and doesn't immediately find a place. You process the conversation on a more abstract level, connecting what you hear to your own experiences and bigger questions. That's why the name slips away. Not because the person doesn't matter, but because your mind is already occupied with something deeper. Imagine how, while someone is talking to you, you're already building a story in your head or wondering what their smile is hiding. This inner withdrawal sometimes makes you seem distant. The cost is the loneliness you feel, even in a crowd, and the frustration of not being able to be 100% present. But this depth is your power. Your inner universe saves you from superficiality and allows you to understand people beyond the surface. The fifth trait is called the difficulty of storing what seems emotionally unimportant. Your brain works like a strict filter. Information that lacks emotional charge or connection to your deep values is quickly eliminated. Names, often being arbitrary and without immediate context, fall into this category. You don't forget because your memory is weak. You forget because your memory is selective and extremely efficient at what truly matters. Think of the times when you perfectly remember an emotional story or a small detail about how someone feels, but the name remains blank. This is not negligence. It's a different kind of inner organization. The cost appears in social situations where names matter and you feel judged. The flip side is that this selectivity makes you freer. You don't cling to useless details. You focus on the essence, even if the price is occasional embarrassment. And we arrive at the sixth trait, the unconscious need to maintain distance. Forgetting names creates a subtle barrier between you and others. Without a name, the relationship stays at a more impersonal, safer level. It's not a conscious choice, but an old defense mechanism, perhaps born from experiences where closeness hurt. Your mind protects your inner energy by preventing quick labeling of people as familiar. When you say, "Sorry, what's your name again?" you feel that protective distance. The cost is clear. You can seem cold or inattentive, and sometimes you miss connections that could have been beautiful. But this distance is not rejection, it's survival. It allows you to truly choose who you give full access to. All these 6 traits weave together into one single portrait. It's not a collection of flaws, it's the map of a mind that sees deeper, feels more intensely, and protects itself wisely. You're not broken because you forget names. You're built differently. You have a sensitivity that tires easily, a depth that sometimes isolates you, and an emotional intelligence that prioritizes essence over form. Forgetting names doesn't make you less valuable. It makes you more complex than you appear on the surface. The next time you forget someone's name, remember, it's not a mistake. It's the sign of a mind that operates on a different level. You're not inattentive, you're profound. And in a world that chases the surface, your depth is the rarest and most valuable quality. Thank you for staying until the end. If you recognized yourself in these words, leave a comment and tell me which trait hit you the hardest. Don't forget to subscribe for more explorations of the human mind. See you in the next video. Until then, be gentle with yourself.